Congratulations, you won.
Ever since I was a kid, the idea of getting a virus on my computer was terrifying. I'm sure some of you can relate to this too. Being a kid trying to get Minecraft mods was a minefield, being one fake download button away from destroying the family computer. However, most people were afraid of viruses as a kid, and that's kinda where their experiences with them ended. They hated viruses, and now they don't really think about them anymore. However, I'm slightly insane and developed a strange love for viruses later in life because, let's face it, regardless of how scary they may be, computer viruses can be really cool sometimes. But before we get to that, I have a classic contractual obligation to attend to. Whoa, looks like I've been trapped in this computer by a virus. Now, however am I gonna get out of here? Talk about Opera GX, the sponsor of today's video? Well, of course I can do that. Tired of your lame browser that isn't red? If so, Opera GX has got you covered. Not only is it red, but with the crazy amount of customizability of this browser, you could do almost any color you want, from red to a pinkish red. Oh, and I guess there's the many different cool wallpapers and themes you can download through GX Mods, which includes custom sounds and musics for each theme, but I'm a sucker for red, what can I say? Not only does it look cool, but it's functionally great too. With the GX control option, you can actually limit your CPU and RAM usage, leading to way better performance. I mean, just look at these results. What do you think about that, virus? Got questions you need answers to? Opera GX also has AI tools baked right into the browser, such as smart AI prompts. Need to know how to get rid of a pesky virus, or how to break it to your dad that you need $500 in Bitcoin? With smart AI prompts and ChatGPT, it's super simple. And of course, you might be scared to switch browsers because you don't want to lose all the stuff you have on your old one, but with the quick import tool, you can move your browsing history, your passwords, your bookmarks, all of that stuff with absolute ease. Use my link down below to download Opera GX today. Oh, it looks like I'm being taken out of the computer. Thanks, Opera GX. There are so many different types of computer viruses out there, and for so many different reasons, they can be both scary and cool, sometimes intentionally. Ever since the days of MS-DOS, programmers have been making viruses with the sole purpose of it being an art form, showing off what they can do with this hardware. For example, the DOS virus Madman begins to send you cryptic messages with this pair of scary eyes popping up every now and then. Viruses can also unintentionally be cool and scary too. I mean, the concept of viruses themselves are already scary, not really much I gotta say there, but viruses being cool, that was not an intended effect. Like, I doubt the creators of Bonzi Buddy, a talking purple gorilla who managed your computer and stole your data, would think he had a cult following 2 decades later. Oh, and I did follow through on my promise from the last virus video. I did indeed get a Bonzi Buddy tattoo, and I don't regret it one bit, for now. So today, I want to take the time and talk about some more viruses and other types of malware I've come across that I think are somewhat scary, sick as hell, or a mix of the two. I'll be separating these into 2 loose categories to make this easy. Viruses that are unintentionally entertaining, or viruses that were made to be entertaining. If there's a silly, spooky virus you didn't see mentioned here, check out my last video where I covered mostly horror-themed viruses, it might be there. And lastly, I swear we'll get to the viruses right after this. I just want to thank all of you for helping me reach 100,000 subscribers. That is insane to hear coming out of my mouth. I don't even know where to start with this, so I'll just say thank you so much for your continued support. We got some wild and crazy videos planned coming up here soon, and I've got something pretty damn cool in the works as a little thank you for 100K, so stick around and you'll see what it is. So without further ado, let's talk about some spooky software, shall we? Let's start off with your average Joe viruses, the ones that were made with no entertainment value in mind. Sure, getting a virus on your computer in itself can be scary, but not the ones that just wipe your files away and scamper. Those are just annoying. I'm talking about the ones that have pizzazz. They may erase your personal data, but hey, at least they do it with some style. No virus makes a bigger show out of it though than ransomware. So, if you didn't know, ransomware is a type of virus that'll lock up all of your files and will typically hold them for ransom until you pay a certain amount of money, usually Bitcoin. Remember when Bitcoin was seen as the shady evil currency for people on the dark web? Now it's just that one thing that your uncle obsessed with Elon Musk posts about on his Facebook page. Anyways, ransomwares in themselves are absolutely terrifying, showing you that if you don't act fast enough and scrape up all the money, all of your stuff is gone forever. One popular example was the WannaCry ransomware, which was your typical, whoops, we encrypted all of your data, but this time with a scary red hue. This program was absolutely notorious, gaining lots of attention from the media at the time and spreading like wildfire between computers, which led to an estimated $4 billion in damages. Now, normally I like to run some of these programs on my own virtual machine, just so that I could get a feel for how they are, but out of fear of erasing all of my files and everybody on my networks, I'm not gonna run these, specifically the ransomwares. And on that note, do not run any of the viruses I talk about here today. If a dumbass like me is scared to run some of these, that should be pretty telling not to run some of these. And if you do, use a virtual machine, don't be dumb, thank you. That ransomware had some scary features to it, but what about a ransomware that was entirely made to scare the recipient? Well, I guess all ransomware is supposed to be scary, but you'll see what I mean. Jigsaw was yet another ransomware that did the whole pay Bitcoin to get your files back shtick, but it used Billy the Puppet from the horror movie Saw to really scare the person who was affected. This is an older ransomware, so it's absolutely hilarious to see it asking for 0.4 BTC. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say I won't be able to afford that. It's crazy that someone decided to make the already scary experience of getting ransomware even more stressful by adding an actual horror element. And on top of that, it apparently threatened to dox you if you didn't comply. Oh, okay, that part might not be true because I read it on Wikipedia, but still, it's messed up if it is. This is a horrifying concept, but for some reason, this virus is weirdly polite. I've encrypted your files. Oh, but don't worry, they're okay, I swear. Don't you dare do anything funny, or else I'll erase it all. Thank you. Jigsaw is truly an interesting and terrifying concept for a virus. Combining that rushed feel of needing to pay the virus before something bad happens with the unsettling theme of horror makes for a devious program. I'm by no means praising these programs, I mean they were made by scumbags, but learning about them and seeing how they tick is still kind of fascinating. Okay, I don't know if this next virus was supposed to be scary. I mean, I could see it being creepy in some instances, but I personally just think it's downright hilarious. Okay, imagine you turn on your phone and all you see is this. SymOS Skulls, a Trojan virus that was made for Nokia phones. Damn, they really had a virus for everything, huh? What's next, a virus in a Sonic fan game? Oh yeah, that's right. Anyways, the SymOS Skull virus really wasn't anything insane. It would replace every single app on your phone with these non-functional skull icons, and your phone would basically just become useless. Simple, yet absolutely brilliant. Pretty short explanation, I know, but it didn't stop there, because that was only SymOS Skulls.a. There was a surprising amount of these made. There was F that uses a flashing image of a real skull, and then there was also J that was the same thing but without the flashing. M made them red, and of course Skulls B had no skulls at all. Thank you f-secure.com and DanoOct1 because you have helped in preserving the goofiest string of viruses that has ever existed. Were these all made by the same person? Was there just a massive coincidence that a bunch of virus developers made Nokia viruses that heavily used skulls? I guess it could be a little scary, especially as a kid having your phone taken over by a bunch of skeletons, but I think it's just silly. Now, what's supposed to protect you from all these scary and admittedly hilarious viruses? Antiviruses, right? Well, what if the antivirus itself was also a virus? NavaShield was a rogue antivirus, which is a type of antivirus that was, get this, rogue. Yes, I know. Thank you. I'm brilliant. Now, there's a lot of antiviruses that try to scam you out of your money or just mess up your computer for the fun of it, but NavaShield is an interesting case because it tries to force you to buy its software. After downloading this program, it would start to heavily push its paid version onto you. Special offer my ass. Hold on, save 80% off? Okay, hear me out. If you wait about a week or so and ignore the incredible deals being offered to you, it doesn't just delete your files or anything boring like that. No, it begins to go absolutely bonkers. It permanently starts laughing at you with this creepy ass laugh, and then starts to bring in a second laugh as the time goes on. Not only that, it opens up a ton of unsavory websites. Good luck explaining to your parents why the computer's not only laughing at you, but it's covered in naked ladies. Other payloads that Nava Shield allegedly had was sending out emails, using the text-to-speech voice to swear at the user, and threatening to erase your hard drive. All of this over a max of $40. That is a whole new level of pettiness. Now, as mind-bafflingly hilarious as this program was, this is horrible. Scaring the user and spamming inappropriate sites for like 10 bucks is an insane low to fall to. But I do have to give Nava Shield this. It is the first virus I have ever seen that gaslights you. Oh no, you have to buy the premium version because you have a virus. How'd that get there? I don't know. And those were just a few unintentionally spooky and entertaining viruses that I've come across. I do understand that there is a lot of malware that can be seen this way. I'd love to spend the whole video talking about and dissecting what makes certain viruses scary or cool, but maybe I could focus on more real viruses in a future video. Let me know if you'd want to see that in the future. But for now, let's move on to the viruses that were created with the sole purpose to entertain. I mean, some of these do destroy your system in the end, but how else are you going to see the funny Mr. Krabs picture? That's the only way you're allowed to see Eugene here. If you don't lose all of your files, you don't see Mr. Krabs. It's simple as that. While normal viruses do intrigue me a lot, viruses that were made for entertainment purposes get a lot more creative with what they do, especially when it comes to getting a little scary. Like the infamous Windows XP horror virus. It was this creepy and slightly cheesy virus that turned your computer into a scary version of Windows XP, and I kinda loved it. There is a real functioning virus out there that not only renders your computer useless, but also has a fucking Phantom Balloon Boy jump scare. That is absolutely amazing. Also, the Evil Dead 2 skull is still there. That's always a welcome one. That one skeleton Twitter account. Hey, how's it going? Another virus I mentioned last video was a SpongeBob themed one, which I've actually got another one to talk about today. Horror Krabs 2.0 was developed by Pankoza, who not only has developed a zillion other custom viruses, but has featured on this channel before. They made that one SpongeBob virus called Horror Bob, which I see a running theme with the names here. Horror Krabs 2.0 runs pretty similarly to the SpongeBob one. Starting up the program, your computer quickly runs a command prompt, and then the computer restarts. And that's it. Thanks for watching my awesome virus review. Follow me on Facebook and Google+. Okay, I may have lied because after the computer restarts, it turns out that Mr. Krabs was here! Thanks to Krabsy, your computer has been completely overhauled. The background is stuck as this picture of bloody splotches, Task Manager doesn't work anymore, and there's a million files on your desktop labeled Mr. Krabs was here. They don't really do anything though. Sorry to all the Krabs fans out there that were excited. And to top it all off, the man himself appears on your desktop while scary music plays in the background. Now, when I ran this was quite literally the extent of it. Sure, it makes your computer a pain to use, but it's still somewhat usable. So much for a scary, destructive virus. I thought you were cool, Mr. Krabs. Okay, so turns out that it just didn't run right on my computer, because what's supposed to happen is that a list of rules pops up for what not to do, and then your computer dies in about 5 minutes regardless. I think it's so funny when a virus needs the absolute perfect setup to run properly. Rah! I'm gonna destroy your computer! But can you help me first? The screen also gets pretty heavily distorted too. Man, I really missed out on the full Horror Krabs experience, didn't I? It's still goofy as hell for there to be a Mr. Krabs virus out there, so you know what? I give this 8 half-eaten Mr. Krabses out of 10. What you may not know is that Horror Krabs is actually based on a pre-existing creepypasta virus, one that some people that look at this kind of stuff may be familiar with, and that virus is called Mrs. Major.exe. Mrs. Major? More like major disappointment because I can't get this to work properly either. What is wrong with these viruses? So MrsMajor.exe was made by, I believe, Electro Burke. That's the name that came up in most of my research, so I don't know. For all I know, Mr. Krabs made this virus to try and get back at me for surviving his virus. He'd be very disappointed about the results, but we'll get to that. I saw tons of YouTubers covering this virus back in the day, and I mean, I understand why, but look at this. This is perfect for a thumbnail. The virus functions basically like Horror Krabs, but the presentation is that classic scary haunted creepypasta vibe. There's multiple versions of this one. I ran 3.0 for the sake of this video. I don't know if there's really like a definitive version, but honestly, I don't really care. After signing a contract saying that I know I'm stupid for what I'm doing, the virus goes underway. I also like how when you hit install it goes all glitchy. It's really just the cherry on top to show that, yep, it's all over for you from here on out. Mrs. Major bounces around your desktop and gives you just a taste of that spooky goodness to come before crashing your computer. Restart the computer, log into Squidward, and Mrs. Major takes effect. Similar to the Horror Krabs virus, the background is now changed and a ton of icons appear on your desktop, this time claiming that humans are tasty. Okay, not cool, Miss Major. That's cannibalism you're joking about. People die. There is some new stuff here though, like for example, your cursor is now an eyeball. I can't even be mad, that's sick. So before I could disable it, I think my antivirus messed up the virus, so I once again missed out on some features. In fact, I don't even know what version I truly downloaded, because every video on the 3.0 version had things like dripping blood, a blood meter, it was a lot of blood. Once again, maybe my virtual machine just wasn't configured properly for this virus, but it is totally possible that I downloaded a fan-made version or something. Anyways, Miss Major is somewhat entertaining. The creep factor wears off pretty fast, and in my case, it didn't do anything. But it's still cool to see someone make this cheesy haunted virus that acts like it's straight out of a bad creepypasta. You know what else is similar to creepypastas? Analog horror. Well, they're not exactly the same, but it's close enough. So as we take a look at the last virus of the video here, let's just say that analog horror plays a little part in it. And by a little part, I mean the entire virus is about analog horror. I honestly don't know why I said little part there. Mandela is a virus created by Cyber Soldier, which to my knowledge is the first analog horror virus to exist, which is honestly a cool idea. Analog horror is closely connected with digital horror, you know, horror related to internet and the old tech. So a virus focusing on ideas related to digital horror actually seems pretty solid. Mandela is based on the popular Mandela Catalog series, which I'd quickly like to say that I'm not entirely informed on the situation involving the creator of Mandela Catalog, and therefore I don't want to make an uninformed opinion or an uninformed statement or really anything about it. I just want to acknowledge that I'm aware there's been issues regarding the series and the creator, since it's related to what I'm talking about here. Anyways, back to the virus. Also, before we boot into this, huge flashing lights warning, skip to this timestamp to avoid all of the chicanery. 3, 2, 1, let's go. After signing away my rights to Cyber Soldier, it's time to run it. And by God does it run. Creepy ass sounds and flashing black and white filters immediately take over the screen. Wait a second. No, not my Nyan cat. No! After your computer freaks out for a little bit, it cuts to black and hits you with a smiley face jump scare. Okay, listen, I haven't seen Mandela Catalog in a while, but like, was this a part of it? I legitimately don't know. I can tell you for sure that the multiplying error boxes weren't. The message, "Nothing is worth the risk," appears multiple times throughout this virus, including this part where the boxes spam all across the screen. This is followed up with freaky noises and even more flashing lights. Okay, I'm slowing the flashing lights down for my sake, Jesus Christ. The Windows 10 virtual machine gods must have taken mercy on me because the computer crashes soon after this. I guess it was a one-trick pony, but before I could open up my browser to play Happy Wheels and drink Sody Pop, a video begins to play over your screen. In the style of an analog horror warning video, a text-to-speech voice gives you the rundown on what a virus is, how to protect from it, and who to contact if you need it removed. So glad we get that info.
If you suspect that your computer is infected with malware, contact Cyber Soldier.
Is that the guy I'm supposed to talk to? Who is that? Okay, I'm sorry. I'll talk to them. How's your day been, man? Please don't hurt me. Another restart takes place and it seems to be normal once again. And once again, it begins to freak the fuck out. This time it moves around your windows and adds in new ones. It makes playing solitaire a bitch. After this stupid ass virus ruins my solitaire game, it restarts for the last time. And it really is the last time because your entire computer has been wiped. And the only thing that remains is the message, nothing is worth the risk. Like it wasn't worth the risk to run this program? I mean, you aren't wrong, I was running an insanely dangerous program for funsies. I won't lie, this one kinda creeped me out, especially reviewing the footage late at night to write the script. I mean, I don't think this was terrifying, but show me my computer having a seizure and showing me scary jump scares when I'm basically passing out at my computer, I will get paranoid as all hell. I really liked the custom video made for this virus, and I think besides the unrelated scary pictures that come in every now and then, this was a great concept for malware. And with that, I have discussed all of the viruses I've wanted to talk about here today, both terrifying and hilarious. Now, viruses are just such an interesting art form, and it's so fascinating to take a look at them for me. Except for the ones that are just made to prey on grandmas, those people are losers and will never have anything on Horror Krabs 2.0. There are just too many viruses that I want to talk about. Pancoza, the creator of Horror Krabs, has like 80 alone that I want to talk about. Like, what the hell is Teletubbies.exe? Ah, I see now. It's always fun for me to look at these types of viruses, especially the ones that were made with entertainment in mind. When a virus isn't just made to make someone's day worse, the creator can truly go hog wild and just have fun with it. Now, I don't actually make viruses myself, but I could see the appeal of being a programmer and putting your abilities to the test in a fun and almost exhilarating way. It's almost like being on a roller coaster. You can have all of the thrilling, dangerous fun you want with the proper safety equipment in place, but if you don't have that harness on, you will die very fast. Now, I know this video was a little disjointed. It was originally supposed to be only horror viruses made for fun, similar to the last one I did, but I couldn't help it throwing in some real viruses that I thought were interesting. If you want to see a new video where I focus on one or the other, let me know in the comments. Or if you want a comprehensive review on Bonzi Buddy, I can do that too, and I'm not joking. Oh wait, there was actually one more virus I wanted to talk about here. What was it called again? Let me check real quick. On second thought, I think I'm good.
Getting fit and funky, is that your desire? Get down and boogie till you catch fire. Dance and shake the soul and makes you